me whenever you want, ask questions. So the topic that I'm talking is it's something that most of you might be aware of. So there are many things that you would have already an idea about. So please do share. So let's get into it. Um, a few things is in terms of anything that you want to, whenever you want to stop me, please stop. Yeah. So that I want to just make that clear. Uh, so today the session is all about what is digital, right? So we have a lot of definitions of digital, and people use digital in a lot of ways, in a lot of means, in whatever they know about. We want to just highlight and differentiate the different types of digital, right? So let me start saying that there are three types of digital components, and they are all in stages, right? So the first stage, the foundation layer. I hope you guys are able to see my screen because yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, great. So the foundation layer, as we call, is digitization. So what does it mean? It means that it's all about connecting what you physically do to a system that is able to do that for you, but keep that information in a format that can be used whenever you want, even if the physical form is still not available. If I'm complicating things, don't worry. It's very simple. We have been doing it for a lot of years. Even a scan copy of your record is a digitization, right? So that's where it starts. Uh, it's very simple to digitize, and you would realize that, oh, this is a simple thing to do, but why are people not doing digitization? So we'll come to that stage later. But once you cross digitization stage, the other component of digital is digitalization, right? And what do you mean by digitalization? Digitalization, as you might know, is all about, once I digitize an information, information telling me what to do next, or telling me from a process standpoint, hey, this is what you're done. This is the information you've captured. Based on the information you've captured, this is the next thing you can do with it. So that is digitalization. You are actually improving an existing process to ensure that it happens the right way, the way you have configured it, and not the way people perceive it has to be done. So we're removing a little bit of human element out of it. We are making it more system based. So that's digitalization. And without digitization, you cannot do digitalization. So that is very important to know. And the third stage, which is the top of the pyramid, is where you say, okay, now I am ready for digital transformation. So digital transformation is cannot happen directly. It has to go through various layers. And when you talk about digital transformation, you are actually talking about systems able to orchestrate your process for you. It's able to monitor and control your processes in a way that it becomes more structured, seamless, and human intervention is reduced. And I've given certain examples below, right? Where, based on the customer sales volume, can I predict what my raw material would be, or how much raw material would I want to buy? And can I then pass that requirement to my vendor to procure that raw material? So it is connected between sales to procurement. So that is digital transformation. So I'm removing the large amount of human intervention from that entire process. So it's as simple as that. While it sounds very complicated, it's very simple. Digitization is a to referring to create a digital representation of a physical object. Very simple. Digitalization is enabling and improving the process by using digital technologies and the data that you have digitized. So can I use the data and then start activating a process around it? If my customer satisfaction index is low, can I improve it? Is there a means to improve it? Can I look at data and say which areas do I need to improve? That is digitalization and putting an action around it. So that is digitalization. And finally, there is a digital transformation, which is basically saying, can I now orchestrate my entire processes using the digital means that I've already incorporated in the system? There are a lot of applications that allow you to do that. And most of you would know what it is. But everybody wants to go to the third stage as possible, right? We all aspire to become a digital company. Even though we are small, we are micro, we are always looking at process efficiency. We are looking at what is that cutting edge that will allow us or allow me to stand different to other people in the market in the same competition. How am I going to be different? How can I be cheaper? How can I be more efficient? How can I earn more revenue? So, but to go to that third stage, very important to assess where you are right now, right? Many a times when you are small, when you're just building our organization, when you're setting up a business, we are trying to do things by ourselves. Most of it is paper based. We try to map everything on a piece of paper. We try to, all the documentation is filed in a folder somewhere. uh, Slowly, because of digital India and a lot of such initiatives, there is a lot of digital activities that is happening from the beginning itself, but internal processes many a times is still manual. So we need to look at that. We have to see, okay, what are those paper based processes that I'm currently handling. Second is, if I grow a bit, then I also need to look at the organization culture. Are people aligned to be able to accept digital means of working, or are they in a certain category where they say, no, we are not used to that, we don't want to do it, but difficult hai. I would rather do it manually, मेरे को ये जमता है proper, I mean, this is the better way of doing it, so I know I can do it better. The question is that, can you leapfrog this, and can you jump from doing nothing to a digital transformation stage? uh, you can, but again, then there are a lot of risks. People might not be accepting it, they might leave the organization. Are you ready to make all those changes in the organization? Be ready for those risks that will happen, because you doing things incorrectly is also a risk by itself. So the important thing is to do things properly as well. So the idea is to do it in stages. So basically, the journey starts, to summarize the entire conversation I was talking about, is identify what your weaknesses are, identify what your strengths are. You might say that, okay, there are certain things that I'm really good at. I can really move this into a digital format. Some places I'm not that great. I can then definitely, because I'm not that great, can I just bypass what I'm doing manually to go into a digital uh, area and then get it digitized directly. So those are few questions that we need to ask, and then also look at areas where you can prioritize, right? So for example, I have a small simple ledger register that I use, and I'm giving a simple example, like for example, attendance, right? So many times we just mark it on a register and somebody submits it, and that is a manual process that is maintained. Can I use that, convert that into a digital form? Can I convert certain customer complaints which are email into a simple digital platform? These are low hanging fruits, doesn't impact too many people, but gives you the benefit of doing it. Then it's all about seeing, is my organization, if I'm going to do that change, do I have the right people who will accept it, who will say, okay, yeah, this is great, I'm ready for it, I'm interested to do it. You're allowing me to use an app, and I'm keen to do it. And so that's the readiness part. So we should have those change agents who's ready to accept this thing and take it with them. And then of course the sponsorship from the leadership team, from the management team, saying that, okay, we are with you, please go ahead, do it, right? And the fourth stage is, once you did it that you want to do that, identify solutions, technology, softwares that are easy to buy, like saying, right, software as a service. It's a subscription model. Nowadays everything is subscription. You might have heard of Zoho, you might have heard of Salesforce. All of these companies, they're all subscription models where you can just buy 2 licenses. You can try it out, implement it, you like it, you use it. If you don't like it, you stop subscription. And that's good, because then it allows you to test out things and see whether it's working for you or not. It's not like you put a lot of cost upfront and then not able to use it, and that money that you put is actually not yielding the benefit that was supposed to. So as an investment, it is easy to just buy simple solutions and use it. Finally, it's important to also create a case for change. So what means is that, how do I, if I'm a manager and I find an opportunity to, say for example, digitize certain process, how do I sell that idea to my boss? Or how do I, as a owner, how do I sell this idea to my team members, telling them, whether it be return on the money that I've spent, or telling the members, the workers themselves or your staff, that it's going to improve your own efficiency. So how do we bring that buy-in? So that's the other part. So these are the few areas of digital transformation. I also spoke about how to start that and what are the various stages that you can go through and assess and evaluate in your journey of digital transformation. So I would just now at this stage, I would kind of talk to you about what has been our approach as an organization at Planet NextGen. We are a company that is always helping. We have helped a lot of small and medium enterprises, startup companies, especially in the food sector. We also do a lot of work with farmers, and we have done that not just in India, also in the Middle East, in the Gulf region. We had a classic case of people farming in a 20-foot container or a 40-foot container, and how they do the entire from a seeding till harvesting. So those are few areas where our technology we have been able to. So what we go with is first define the process, understand in my business what are the various operational processes that I need to cover. Before even putting the people there, identify what is the best digital solution that I can adopt in the beginning itself, or change to a digital solution if you're already started your business, to see, okay, these are the digital solutions available in the market. Can I use it? Can I map it? And once you've done that, then see, okay, do I have the right people who can use those digital tools to manage the process, right? So sometimes you might not have the right guy, even the tool is right, the digital tool is right, the person operating it might not be the right guy. And that happens in many cases, and we always blame the digital tool to be the problem. System ka problem hai. Sometimes system ka problem nahi hai, it is just the person who's using it is not understanding how to use it properly, how to take advantage or leverage that tool. So that is why we say, get the process right, understand what are the digital tools available, get the people who understand how to use the tool to access manage the process. So that leads into strategy. So exactly what I was saying, right? Define the right process, build, buy, or bridge the suitable technology, get the right people to operate. This will allow every one of us to give a better service to a customer, or give a better product. Because now what we are doing is we are bringing efficiency, we are using the right processes, and we are doing it in a digital way where there is transparency, there is authenticity, there is record, and that it's all done in a seamless way. So that's what has been our approach. So having said that, a little bit about ourselves as a group and a company. So we are part of a group called Planet Ventures. And if you see some of our areas of industry sectors is in terms of people, logistics, element, which is basically food and energy. And so these are areas that are more related to the food services part of it as well. So even if it is technology that I'm talking about, our alignment has been more towards people and food and logistics of food material. So always been aligned with the food sector. And Planet NextGen is part of the technology group within the group, technology company within the group. And the product that I'm going to talk to you about is called UNITXPRO. This is a product that we developed with an experience, a domain experience of more than 50 years, where there are so many various units across multiple places. And as you as owners and managers start expanding and growing to various locations in India and abroad, you will have so many locations to handle. And when you have many locations to handle at the same time, you will reach a stage where micromanagement is not practical. You need to have a system in place that will ensure that your management style is translated to every unit without being there physically present. And that's what our primary idea was. And also telling the people who are using the application how to do your work, and when to do it. So scheduling the work. getting it done the right time, getting it done the right way, ensuring that people don't miss activities because they just didn't know that they were supposed to do it. So, kind of getting all of that together, bundling it up into an application is what UNITXPRO does. And what you're done with this product is mapped it into various uh, sectors, especially in the food. So as a platform, and this is a bit busy slide, so I'll just give you a gist of what we are trying to do in the platform. We are marrying the process side with the people, right? So there might be a set of processes that you are currently operating on that you need to use, and then you have a set of people who are supposed to, do those processes. How do you marry that process to the people and ensure that the right process is done by the person at the right time in the right way? And that is where UNITXPRO as a product comes in. It calendarizes the activities, assign it to the right position, and also at the same time gives him enough help in terms of whether it is video, e-learning media, checklist, form, whatever it may be, is available for him at the time of doing the work, so that he does it the right way at the first time itself without making too many mistakes. Also, this helps, and we have been working with delivery assistants. We have been working with drivers. We have been working with farmers. And the example I was giving about the one that we did in UAE is micro farming in a 20-foot container. The farmer had a checklist, a calendarized activity that was created in UNITXPRO, where you know exactly for a specific plant type, what is the amount of water he is supposed to put, when is he supposed to put the various vaccine, I think medicine and manure and all of those stuff. What are the areas, the time he has to do it? When does he need to move it into various stages, and when does he need to actually harvest it? So it's pretty calendarized, structured, using the idea of what to do. It's image based, so that you don't need to read a lot. You can understand it by looking at videos and images. So it's very informative and easy to use. And these are farmers who are probably from at a particular media who probably doesn't understand, especially English language and all that stuff. But it's good. It's okay. They can understand images, they can understand video, audio, and that's helped them a lot. So those are the areas that we're working. We work with a lot of manufacturing companies, food manufacturing company, food processing companies, digitizing their quality assurance areas, online quality control areas, uh, those areas which are not covered probably in a conventional ERP system. So we try to digitize those parts as well. So that helps them a lot. So the top part is all about marrying the process to the people, and then the bottom side, which is basically once they finish the activities, linking the responses to how was the process performed. Was it done in the right way? Is it adhering to a proper SLA that was defined for it? If there is an audit, is it complying to that audit or not? So most of the audits, which are all manual work right now, and because it's done periodically, gets digitized. It is done now on a daily basis. It is done at the time of doing the work, so you don't need to do an extra work of auditing separately. The data that comes out as an output uh, from these activities is already your audit report, and you can submit that to an FSSA officer or whoever, whichever officer. If you're ISO, if you are complying to an ISO standard, then auditors. And for example, in COVID times, when there was a lot of problem with doing this manual audits and checklist, FSSI had come with a protocol for COVID, and we mapped that into our application. And they were very FSSI officer was very happy to see that, and he kind of acknowledged the fact that these are good tools that we could, that in the food industry, food sector, people could use to comply with such kind of requirements. So that's where the process gets the output of an activity gets defined from a process standpoint. Also from the people side, right? If I right now that I know who's doing the work, I can actually see whether he's a real good employee or not, or whether he needs some more training. So either ways, now I know exactly who's doing what. If he's a great employee, then I can plan to promote him to a better or a higher responsibility. If he's not doing that great, I can actually do a direct intervention, uh, bring him aside, train him, teach him how to do things. So So both ways it helps. You really don't need to be not known about who's doing what. So I don't know whom to train, who's doing better. So that ambiguity is gone. Your assessments are more objective. So these are the few things that kind of marry the process to the people, right? So that's what our platform does. It's very simple. We augment, we engage, we control. So we understand what's the requirement, we create that framework, we define it against the processes, and then we get an holistic of how people are doing their work, irrespective whether they are sitting in the same office or they are sitting in some other state or other country. It doesn't matter. I have the process documented in a structured way. The output or the outcome that they're filling, I get to know two things. One is if they're doing everything as per what is defined to be done, I know there is a at least basic discipline in the organization. Once I know the way they are doing it based on the responses, I can also measure the quality of work that they are doing. So one is discipline, other is quality of work. So putting both that together, I'm rest assured saying that my business is running properly, my operations is running properly. I don't have any problems. In case there are missing elements, then it is management by exception. Very simple. I know exactly who's doing what and who's not doing what, and I can capture that and then do the needful around that. So that's the idea of this. And knowledge empowered is very important. For everything that we ask people to do, we are also giving them the information and the knowledge of how to do. So how to do becomes very important, especially in micro and organizations where the how to do knows with the owner or the person whose idea it was. But now it has to get translated to the people who are working with him, right? So he has to translate that. Not by He cannot always be in front of them to tell what to do. So record that, create a video, publish it into an application where they are able to access it whenever they want, or they can access it whenever they're doing that kind of work. So that creates a very nice way of continuous improvement and training. So the training becomes seamless, and it is not a classroom training, it is a training on the job, which is really helpful. And we have seen a lot of improvements in staff who have gone from doing simple work to getting more and more responsibility because they are learned on the job and got better on it. So that's what it does. So what makes our application unique is I've covered everything, right? We have all the processes. It's simple, checklist based. It is on the mobile. It can be multilingual, vernacular medium. So it is. Everybody today has a smartphone. At least most of the people have got a smartphone. So accessing an app on the smartphone is the simplest thing to do. Indian government ran the entire COVID vaccination program on the phone. So why can't we use the phone as a medium to teach and train and manage our business? So that's something that definitely is something that people are used to it, and now they'll use it more and more. So it's easy to operate. We also develop reports and custom reports because sometimes your requirement as a report would be very different to somebody else's requirement. So nothing is standard. We come, we sit with you, we understand, and we help co-create whatever information you want. So it is much more customized in terms of what you would want to see. Not like any other large, where there are standard set of 20 reports. That's the only one you get. इसके आगे नहीं मिलेगा. No, we actually sit and work with you in terms of understanding what you require and create those reports for you. So that really helps because you're seeing what you want to see. And of course, automation is there. We are already connected with temperature monitor devices. We are connected with machinery sensors. All of that in the end is the automation, right? So input can be automated from a sensor standpoint. It can integrate with any other systems that you might be already using, information systems. And you can identify, like I was telling in the first slide, right? Identify the areas in your business. You might have digitized a lot, but I'm sure there might be certain pockets where you are still doing manually. So the idea is to take that also and put it in a platform so that everything is digitized, so the system runs the way it's supposed to without having too much manual intervention. So in the end, what are our mission? Our mission is to ensure that your brand is visible. You have the credibility with your customers of ensuring that there is transparency. When the transparency comes in, the customers are happy. Customers are seeing that the information is accessible. If you are interested, you can actually your transparency to your customers, so they are able to see how you perform, how you work. Your audits are digitized, so there is no kind of manicuring the facility to pass the audit. It is all transparent. uh, with simple processes getting digitized, the cost definitely comes down. You don't need to add too much of overhead in terms of people and material. Everything gets into a digital form. So even just saving of papers that you use for printing is of saving. Uh, Quality goes up because now, as I told, the process is mapped, activities are created, people are doing it, the responses have to be filled. The responses that we filled is mapped against the SLA. So as soon as you map it, you are ensured, you are assuring that your quality is going up, because now you can, trend that, seeing that where it is going bad, can I do a continuous improvement program? Yeah, and go ahead of it. And of course, if the cost and the quality is working well, then you're actually reducing your risk as well. So automatically your risk come down, and you can actually monitor your risk as well. Is there a risk on my cash? Is there a risk on my quality? Is there a risk on my cost in the way I operate? So those are the few things that we are aiming to accomplish, and we've done that for multiple customers as well. So what we're doing is, as I wanted to summarize this, is we help our customers to make digitization and automation pervasive across their enterprise. We are not saying that, okay, we can do 4 things, 5 things you'll have to do manually, or you'll have to look for some other application. What we're trying to say is, no, you just tell us what the process is, and we will digitize it for you, and that will then become a part of your ecosystem, digital ecosystem. It doesn't have to be only specific to certain areas. It can be anything, right? And we do that with speed and agility. Most of our implementations are done in, at the most, in 20 to 30 days. If it's a large enterprise, maximum 45 days. So you will see benefits, realize benefits, immediately in the second month itself, and allows you to also switch off if you don't like it. Say, okay, I don't find any benefit, stop karo, and it can be stopped. So that's the beauty. So it's fast. You don't have to wait for 6 months for implementation to happen and all of that, and then look at the real after 6 months or something like that. You can do it quickly. So that's what we try to promote through the application. So what are the solutions we have? So service quality, we do process adherence, matrices measuring. You might be a certain matrices that you want to measure. You can measure that. Audits, I touched upon all of this, right? Compliance management, training, feedback and suggestions from your clients, incident report. So if there's an incident reporting and you want to do root cause analysis, you can do that. We are also doing certain amount of TPM and overall equipment efficiency management. That's part of our service offering. So if you have equipments and you want to look at the breakdowns, you want to see the uptimes, all of those can be tracked, and then we can also see how we can improve your efficiencies. And we, as I said, we also do, to a large extent for many companies, the online quality, which is basically measuring all the quality related parameters at the time of the production. Right, usually in SAP, it is at the FG part. They get one report, but to get that report, the quality team have to maintain a lot of log, and that log is all manual many a times, and we kind of digitize that, and that helps them a lot. So those are the areas. From a safety standpoint, HSEQ, assurance, process automation, audits, supplier audit, self audit, which is very important, again under the safety parameter. Personal training and development, so if there are certain areas that they need to be trained and aware, so that can be part of the application. And the traceability, which is basically tracking material, tracking products, highlighting exceptions, incident report both sides, even service quality or traceability side, and measure the impact on that. So these are the few broad areas that we cover. It's not necessary that anybody has to buy the whole thing. You can actually take one component and build on it, and start experimenting with digital life, digital journey, basically. So you can start with one, start using it, works well, then you take the other one, you take the other, and increasingly add on to what you're doing manually into a digital form. And the addition is a framework, so you can keep adding more and more, so it doesn't stop at 1 or 2 modules itself. So this is my last slide, for that matter. I think I'm good in time, much earlier, a lot of time for discussion. So these are some of the benefits that we've given few customers that we are that's using our product right now. You might see big brands here, but that doesn't mean that we only cater to big brands. Most of our many of our customers have been entrepreneurs and small brands. We don't differentiate between a big brand and a small brand. For us, customer is king. Everybody is equal, and we would want to serve more and more people, and allow them the same opportunity that some of these big brands have got in terms of digitization. So, and these some of these brands have started late. So the opportunity for smaller brands is that you start from the beginning itself, and your journey is faster. You're more agile. You're small, so you can actually adopt faster, and that helps you to kind of run with it going forward and be ready for scale. I'm sure if you are going to grow, so this allows you as a platform to take your growth at a larger, faster pace. Sorry. So, having said that, I think there's more than enough time for conversations and discussions. So I open that forum. Uh, Please, you can ask me questions or any suggestions. We can do that now.
Yes, if anyone have any questions, you can ask me directly, sir.
I think I was so clear that it was very clear for everyone.
Absolutely, sir.
No, I mean, I'm ready. It's okay. I mean, if not now, anytime anybody wants to ask any questions, or if there's any question that comes to you, more than willing to answer that. And if anyone wants to have a direct connection with us, I think the address I gave here below, through the association or directly as well. More than happy to sit, discuss, not to basically sell the product, but at least to talk about what digitization is, how it can help. We can always help people to make them understand how these initiatives can help them, irrespective if they use the product or not. So those are few things, Sneha, we can definitely do with the team, with your members, and whoever is willing to, on the digital
Yes.
journey.
Yes, sir.
Good.
On behalf of Chamber, I would like to I would like to thank you, sir. This is very interactive session. The information you gave is really helpful to everyone. So thanking you, sir.
Thank you so much. Look forward to hearing from you. Yeah.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Good evening to
Yes.
everyone. Take care.
You too,
Bye
sir.
bye.
Thank you. Bye,
Yes,
sir.
bye, sir. Yes, we can end our meeting. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thanks everyone for joining.